Good day. This is Solidarity News, bringing you news highlighting the dignity of human life from conception to natural death. I'm Dominic DiCarlo.
And I'm Shane Hoffman. It's been a busy couple of weeks for Peter Sonski, the American Solidarity Party's candidate for President of the United States, as he's been on the campaign trail across multiple states. Sonski barnstormed the Midwest the weekend of September 21st, visiting Cincinnati, Ohio, where he's on the ballot. In Cincinnati, he joined Ohio Chair Shane Hoffman, Cincinnati area coordinator Charlie Steens, and several others as they visited Oktoberfest after a well-received speech at the downtown Westin. The next morning after Mass, he drove to Indianapolis, Indiana for a meet and greet at Rick's Cafe Boatyard with Indiana Chair Bonnie Callis, Secretary Aurora Verkamp, and others. From there, he traveled on to Grand Rapids, Michigan, where he was met by Matt Williams, Paul Schultz, and John Hayden of the Michigan Committee. And while in Grand Rapids, he was part of the Faith and Politics panel at Kuiper College, along with Michigan candidates for state and local offices. It's estimated there were in excess of 100 people in attendance. A couple weeks later, on October 5th, he spoke at a rally in Los Angeles' Exposition Park, highlighting the dignity of the human person. Here's a clip of that event.
And the party selected me as their representative. So I'm honored to be representing not only the party, but more importantly, the values and principles it stands for. And so often today, values and principles seem to be a friendly term, but they aren't always held with conviction. I think we can talk about a certain vice presidential candidate who recently expressed some values and views as a senator that suddenly changed when the opportunity to become a member of the presidential ticket was made available to him. I may not win this election. I realize that my chances are longer than most, but I'm not going to change the values that I was chosen to represent. I'm not going to change the positions that I think need to be introduced into the public forum. Today, we need a different voice. We need a different...
In addition, Sonski and other members of the American Solidarity Party of California, including Executive Director Desmond Silvera and Party Chair Mark Ruzon, attended a live action awards event in which people who've been active in the pro-life movement were honored, including Coach Jim Harbaugh, pro-life advocate and coach of the Los Angeles Rams, Stephen Holland, who was a child conceived in rape and is now a pro-life advocate, Joan Bell, who's been in prison multiple times for civil disobedience against abortion. And here is some video from that event.
Do you have any words for the American Solidarity Party?
It's a special privilege to be here in California for the gala of the Live Action Pro-Life organization. They do such excellent work, such excellent messaging, and I'm honored to be here, to have an opportunity to meet Lila Rose, and so many good people that are here because they believe in the future of the pro-life movement. And it gives me a great deal of joy to be able to be a candidate for the American Solidarity Party, standing for life, with so many good people here tonight. We need to be all the more convinced that what we are doing is for the greater good, for the common good, and that we will have, if not success this November, success in the future.
Thank you very much. Presidential candidate for the American Solidarity. Thank you very much. Peter Sonski.
Sonski met with founder and director of Live Action, Lila Rose, as well as other prominent figures in the pro-life movement, including Christian rapper Bryson Gray and social media figure Michael Knowles. The American Solidarity Party is a relatively new and growing third party, which has a pro-life platform and incorporates the principles of Catholic social teaching, subsidiarity, and solidarity. Details of the Los Angeles visit were highlighted in some previous episodes of the Solidarity News Brief. Sonski also made a stop in the state capitol where he met with voters, including members of the Thomas More Society. Then on October 12th, Peter Sonski returned to Ohio for a pair of events hosted by Jefferson County Coordinator Marie Hosdill and Don Musacchio. The first was an off-campus meet and greet with students from Franciscan University of Steubenville, and then later that evening, Sonski held a town hall at a local hotspot, Froelic's Classic Corner. In addition, during this time, Vice presidential candidate Lauren Onak of the American Solidarity Party spoke at the Thomas More Society at Boston College, where she gave a talk entitled, "Peace is Indivisible, Towards a Politics of Solidarity." The party has seen quite an uptick in activity following those events. The whole life message is resonating quite well. Over to you, Dominic.
Thanks, Shane. Quote, "A U.S. study on puberty blockers goes unpublished because of politics, doctor says." Close quote. This is the title of a New York Times article dated October 23rd, which also states, quote, "An influential doctor and advocate of adolescent gender treatment said she had not published a long-awaited study of puberty-blocking drugs because of the American political environment." Close quote. England's Youth Gender Clinic in 2011 tried to replicate the Dutch studies from previous years with a study of 44 children. However, at a conference 5 years later, the researchers reported that puberty blockers had not changed volunteers' well-being, including their rates of self-harm. These results were not made public until 2020, years after blockers had become the standard treatment for children. Hence, reversed course and has imposed restrictions on such gender treatments. The American Solidarity Platform states, quote, "We vigorously defend the right of parents to protect their children from gender affirmation requirements. We call for legislation prohibiting any gender reassignment of children." Close quote.
A CNN investigation revealed how deceptive political fundraising has misled elderly Americans into giving away millions of dollars. According to CNN article from October 22nd, hundreds of elderly political donors, including those with dementia, have fallen victim to Republican and Democratic political campaigns and groups. In one particular case, an 80-year-old retired communications engineer who had been recently diagnosed with dementia, remains out roughly $300,000 from such donations to campaigns which he unwittingly followed along with, apparently. In all, there were nearly 1,000 complaints filed with the FTC between June 22nd and June of 2024. Dominic?
Quote, "Harris's abortion plan, no concessions." Close quote. This is an article title from the Wall Street Journal dated October 23rd. It highlighted an interview which Kamala Harris had with NBC recently, where she refused the idea of a pragmatic compromise. The question which was posed to her was, quote, "What concessions would be on the table? Religious exemptions, for example? Is that something you would consider with the Republican-controlled Congress?" Close quote. Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris responded, quote, "I don't think we should be making concessions when we're talking about a fundamental freedom to make decisions about your own body." Close quote. The, quote, "fundamental freedom," which Harris was referring to, was the freedom for an abortion, which is the killing of an unborn human being. On this issue, the American Solidarity Party platform states, "We recognize that the inalienable right to life, from conception until natural death, must be formally acknowledged by all levels of government. This acknowledgement includes a human life amendment to the U.S. Constitution, clarifying that equal protection of the laws applies from the moment of conception, as well as laws that prohibit or restrict abortion at the state and federal level. Good day for now, and remember, all human life has dignity from conception to natural death.